And that's what made him the best player of his time until just a few years ago when Connor McDavid kind of took over that title. But either way, Sidney Crosby, he's going to be 37 later this summer and still getting it done, still had a 40-goal season and then some, and probably will get a couple of votes for MVP as well, despite the fact the Penguins came just short of making the playoffs. Look at his team ranks. First in every major offensive category, but this begs the question, do you think he will continue to stick around for what is clearly a transitional time in Pittsburgh, a rebuild if you'll go that far? Or do you think that he might say, I think I want to chase a cup one more time? What do you think, Billy?
He's a legend in Pittsburgh no matter what he does. He's an icon. If he decides to move on, 36, 4-year window, maybe to 40. He's in that good a shape and can continue. You have to go to Kyle Dubas and ask, how do we win a Stanley Cup in the next 4 years? Is that feasible? Can we turn this around? And if Dubas presents something before him and says, if we can do this, X, Y, and Z, we can win a cup in 2-3 years, and you're going to be a big part of it. So we're going to have to get younger and go through a transition, but it can be done. If that is good to Sidney Crosby, then on board, sign, re-up, and just finish your career with Crosby. If he does it for sentimental value, I'm not for that. If he just wants to ride it out in a Pittsburgh uniform, go. It's all about winning championships. It doesn't feel right in Pittsburgh. He's paid his dues, did everything for that city. Wants one last chance, doesn't like the plan. I would say, give me a chance here, maybe to move on. We've seen it with superstars in the past. Ray Bourque comes to mind. I know Ray Bourque did not win a championship before the move to Colorado. But it's going to be hard to picture that Stanley Cup window in the next 4 years in Pittsburgh.
And he's a player now that July 1st they can sign him, extend him. So his vantage point is going to be, all right, what direction are the Pittsburgh Penguins going? And he will take a long, hard look. And if he doesn't like it, I could see him going somewhere else. Because, you know, you hear Dubas's comments. He was talking about some different players today. Players he brought in like Ryan Graves, who underachieved. To me, Dubas pled his case to say, I tried to make this team better. I addressed some of the things. It didn't work out. He had brought in Carlson as well. It didn't work out this year. Crosby's played 82 games the past 2 seasons. So he's played every game. He's all in as a Penguin. He's all in as a National Hockey League player, and he's in the record books. You hear comments like, tied Wayne Gretzky 19 seasons with a point per game.
Yeah, you know, so awesome.
Things like that. It's consistency. But now for Sid, I think it's his time to be like, all right, show me, because it hasn't worked the past 2 years. They haven't been in the playoffs. His contract is up, which is pretty undervalued for a guy like that.
Yes.
They traded his buddy Gensel.
Yeah, right. He wasn't happy about that, and it's all about fitting something around Crosby. But the board we showed with Malkin and his salary, Carlson with his salary, you know, that's something's got to change here. Because when you think of the Penguins, of course you think of Letang, Crosby, Malkin, and now and Jarry as well. But now you've added this. It hasn't worked. I mean, how can they have such a poor power play all season long? That's why they missed the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's frustration. Sid is on the power play. You know, it wasn't great for him there this year in helping that. But for Crosby personally, I think he's in the driver's seat to say, make it better, show me the plan that is going to get us into the playoffs, or he'll be moving on.
Yeah, and he does have 1 more year left on his current deal, but you're right, those conversations will probably happen more likely around this July than any closer toward next July.